All right, I am here with John and Marissa, and we are exploring their journey on the family sleep transformation with baby girl Isabella, who was 5 months of old when they came to me. Just a quick preview: Isabella was a reflux baby, very, very bad reflux, very colicky, extremely sensitive, waking up a gazillion million times a night. Um, this lovely family also has a almost 3-year-old boy. Pandemic. No one was getting any sleep. So how tell me else how you guys felt about that and what kind of made you reach out for help.
We were desperate. I mean, we hadn't slept in months. I think I think we would get a combined total of an hour a night, and that was for consecutive months. We were walking zombies, just in all of the slews of health issues that come with severe sleep deprivation. And we became short-tempered with our son, even though we were trying really hard not to be. Had a barely functioning relationship, but never contentious, just, no energy to check in with each other and do all the things that you want to do as a couple. And we got referred to you through my mom, and she said, give her a shot. And we were so desperate. We were so desperate for anything because couldn't figure anything out. And it was very hopeless. And so we said, let's give it a shot.
And I remember that phone call, Marissa, and you were so exhausted.
I fell asleep on the first call. I passed out on the couch actually on the
I
first
think
call.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of concerns, Mom, about like the crying and, I'm right. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I mean, no mom wants to listen to their child cry. And I did not want to do the cried out method if I could at all help it. That was just really not something I wanted to have to do. So we were very interested in anything that would, any alternative to that. That was the last resort. And the idea of a gentle method was very appealing to us. And we were willing to do pretty much anything short of letting her be alone and cry all night.
Right. And I also remember you were really, Dad was like, I am so ready to help. But you were kind of like a little bit like the hands were on the reins. Like you were like, I don't know.
Yes.
So can you talk about that? Like just being able to like ask for help and let Dad help and
yeah, this turned out to be a thing that was the perfect place for Dad to help because it built confidence for both of us individually and as a couple, and it strengthened his relationship with the baby in a way that couldn't have happened any other way. That ended up being a lot of really special time for them to be together. And it's also empowering for me to realize that somebody else can help and in a nurturing and caring way that doesn't compromise my relationship with her or either of our well-beings.
totally. Yes. Because that sometimes, especially if you're a nursing mom, like all the caretaking ends up on your shoulders. And so then it becomes this default within the family unit. And yet we needed to bring that kind of co-parenting, um, detach from the mommy preference so that there could be the co-parenting that you guys had envisioned for your family, because you guys were kind of locked in and the baby was kind of rejecting Dad in many ways, and so we needed to build that. So are you feeling like super like connected, bonded with baby girl now that, because Dad did the coaching, he did a great job. Can you speak to that, Dad?
Yeah, it was something I had to mentally prepare for in the beginning. It's information overload, and then you're trying to make decisions based off of hypothetical conversations going in, and your dog tired, learning about those pathways and things like that. So there's a lot of trial and error, but you have to be patient. And what I tried to do was just keep two things in my head at all time, kind of as the spine of the process, and never mess with those two things and gradually build out. And so that was my generalized approach. And then with the log, which is a feat in and of itself to keep a detailed log while you're doing that, I was so desperate and I felt like I had nothing to lose. So I tried to use humor as a way to keep my energy low, because that was one of the things with our baby Isabella, is a very alert baby and is absurdly perceptive. So it was very challenging, but it was worth it. And we have a wonderful relationship, Belle and I do.
Yeah. And so how do you feel about your life now? Because she's sleeping through the night and taking naps by herself. We've got everything on your wish list. How do you feel about life now? Like, what can you do now that you weren't able to do, that you're like, wow, I had no idea we could be like this?
It's
Everything.
we're still in a, we're still like, it's still incredulous. It's still hard to believe. Truly, I mean, it's still sinking in that we can have a relationship again and have a glass of wine and cook dinner together and catch up with each other and engage, albeit the responsibilities of parenting are still very high right now, but we still get to engage in bits and pieces in some of our personal interests, which has made a huge difference. So it was an incredible process, and life has taken on a completely different shape.
And so for any
So
part, sorry, Mom.
happy, well-rested baby. So that makes life a lot easier.
I know, right? And so if you were to tell any family, like, one thing about this process or one thing about sleep coaching or working with me, what would you want to say?
No brainer. Do it. It was the best gift that we gave to ourselves, and it could not have been any more successful, any more valuable. We would do it all over again. No questions asked, and we would recommend it to anybody unconditionally. And really, no downside. It's a life-changing experience, and no regrets would be your recommend.
I would recommend being patient. Are we talking about recommendations? I would recommend being patient and do your best to remain aligned to the process, not let your emotions get the better of you, because sometimes I think when actually the biggest sources of temptation are when things are going really well and you're tempted to kind of deviate and you get a little loose. And in the beginning, I really wouldn't do that. I would stay kind of airtight on what your responsibilities are, because that's how you build the habit.
Yeah. And what we agreed upon, because everything we do is always in collaboration with the three of us. This is never a do this or else. It is completely collaborative based on what the child's really showing us at the time and what we believe is the next right step for the baby. So thank you so much, you guys. I'm so glad Isabella is sleeping beautifully, and it was a pleasure working with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.